Welcome to the Media Boat Podcast, where we talk all things content creation. So whether you're filming with a phone or making a big budget film on a cinema camera, we're here to give you the knowledge you need for the next time you press record. And on today's episode, I got a very, very special guest. I got a guy that's worked with some of the royalty of hip hop, anybody from T.I., Lil Wayne, J. Cole, Trae Tha Truth, Snoop Dogg, and he's amassed over 500 million views on some of the projects he worked on. None other than legendary music video director Stephen Phillip, a.k.a. Philly Flyboy.
Man, I'm going to have to hire you for voiceover work.
Hey,
this guy's like, I thought I was at the Bucks arena right now. Sound like we ready to go on the show.
Hey, I had to rehearse that, get it right, man.
I like it, man. That was nice. I'd have probably taken me about 37 takes to get that right.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. You didn't have to take the time to do this. And, here at Media Boat, we're just really thankful for that.
Yeah, what's dope, like I was mentioning prior, I was just saying, like, I started catching clips of you guys, and it's just, not only is it done well, you guys actually have informative questions and just stuff like that. Just the whole production is very well done, and that caught my eye. Just on doing what I do, I'm looking at lighting, I'm looking at camera and all this other stuff. That's one of the first things that stands out to me, and then just how you guys put it together is just is really dope. So
appreciate it, man. We're trying to strive for quality and information around here, So
yeah, it definitely shows.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys having me out too.
Hell yeah, man. I just wanted to start off tell me a little bit about your upbringing and then the role music played in your life and kind of getting going.
So it's kind of, I've always had like a crazy, variety of music that was thrown at me, throughout my life. And I was like the craziest rap head ever when I was in grade school. And I went to a Christian school.
Okay.
So I remember early on I had like the Snoop Dogg CD. I had Doggy Style, and I got suspended from school for having it.
Yeah, that got you out of there quick.
Right up out of there. And then my mom found out. She was tripping. She's like, yo, what are you listening to? I'm like, man, it's Snoop. Who is Snoop? Yeah. I'm like, and now you play one song on Doggy Style, your mom's gonna, out of there.
Yeah.
And it was that basically, like a big in the rap scene. But one of the things that really put me on to like the video side of it, there was a really dope channel called The Box back when I was young. I'm aging myself so horribly right now. But The Box was literally, you would call, and it was $3. You would call in, and each video had a number, like they show you what number the video was of whatever video, and you'd pay $3 and they'd play your video. Mm. So, it was Pac, it was, NWA, it was all every video that was coming out. And I remember that was like, one, I got in trouble because I was calling and paying for videos. Not a good thing on your mom's credit card. It's like the equivalent today when the kids go and play the video games, and then get all the extras and
buy the skins or something.
Exactly. They put $4,000 of video game additions onto their mom's credit card. That was basically it. So we would sit. I remember waking up as a kid on the weekends and literally just waiting for the new videos to come out. Mm. And like the video was everything when I was coming up.
Right.
And like the song was your favorite song, but when the video dropped, I remember, when Pac dropped videos on there, it would be literally like all day long. They'd just back to back to back to back. Pac would run the channel all day long. And it was like just an infatuation with like how dope the videos were because they're showing the lifestyle that, I know now like a lot of it's fabricated, but when you're a kid, you think they literally just showed up to wherever they were with a camera and like this is how they were living that day.
This is what they're living the pool party lives every day and all that.
Yeah, so it was like that was always intriguing to me. And then I started understanding like the dynamics of it. Like, oh, okay, this is like, this isn't real life. This is like they put this together, and understanding that kind of thing. And so it was always like an infatuation with the music side of it, and then having the channel, The Box, was like something that put me into the music video world. And it was different because, like I said, it was a different format. So because it was basically ran by people calling in, you'd see the same video over and over. So when you watch it the first time, you're just enjoying it. Then you watch it the second time, you start seeing other things that you didn't notice in the first one. And then I just me being who I am, even at that young age, I started breaking down the videos, which was like, you know, now in hindsight, it's kind of trippy. Because now I watch everything, like literally every TV show and everything that I watch now. I'm like, okay, that lighting,
no more, right?
I'm like, that lighting looks a little off right there. That guy didn't hit his line right. Why is this camera angle so far away? Like, I just, you know, I can't. You already know. You literally are looking at. I wonder what kind of lens they used, and I wonder how many takes that took.
I get so frustrated when they go wide to tight and the lighting. I can just see it change.
Yeah.
I'm like,
the crazy thing that I see now, and like when I watch stuff, is how the different takes don't cut right. So you can tell, like, they literally, it's like the Ray J hat, you know, like they cut to you, and then when they cut back, your hat's at a different angle, or like there's someone different behind you. I'm like, bro, that guy wasn't even there before.
The continuity errors.
Yeah, exactly. And that was kind of what happened. So I'm watching the box, I'm watching music videos. You watch the video for the first time, boom, love it. Oh, it's great, my favorite song. Second time, you're like, oh man, that's dope. I see that, you know, this in the background. And then all of a sudden on the third one, like, all of a sudden you see another thing, you know, and I started breaking down the videos, and I started analyzing like how these are put together, and started understanding the production value, even at a young age. I mean, I was, you know, in middle school at that time, and it was like, my eye was just intrigued by like, how did they create this scene?
Looks like magic when you're a kid and you're like, man, how's that even done?
And I didn't know, you know, this is like the purity of this for me, because it wasn't about money at that time. Like now I look at everything, I'm like, okay, I know that's like 10 G's. That's crazy. We're not paying for that. That's $100,000 now. No, man, that's crazy.
Right.
That's a set. They built that. That's not a real house. I can tell, you know. But in the as a kid, just being like in love with, you know, the visual production of things, you don't understand budget at that point, which is nice. When you don't understand money, like everything's amazing.
It opens up your imagination a little more.
There's no restriction.
Right.
Like, just imagine in your life right now, if I literally told you, you can do whatever you want, no, like, don't worry about money. You'd be doing something totally different.
Crazy,
not saying that you'd be doing something totally different, because you're doing what you love.
I'd elevate it somewhere to another place that we haven't tried to tap into yet.
Yeah, when you pull the money out of things, you get the purity of it, and that's what happens when you're a kid. You get the pure, like, you know, joy for something, and the love for it, and just how you analyze things. And that's really what it was at for me. I'd watch these videos, and over time, after watching it for 3 hours in a row, basically, I would start breaking it down and understanding that why this happened, and okay, there's this, and I would start spotting things. So I would start spotting, like, there was a couple videos where I remember it was Pac and Dre. They're in the desert, and I saw a production vehicle in the background on one of the shots, and it's supposed to be like the middle of the desert.
Yeah,
and I noticed, because there's a bunch of vehicles in it, and I'm looking in the background now, because it's the 38th time I've seen it, and I'm like, there's a box truck in the background, and I'm like, what? They didn't see this in the edit, or, you know, or they couldn't crop in, or they could, you know. And I'm like, you know, I'm a young kid at this point, and I'm noticing these things, and that's when I really kind of realized, like, okay,
you don't realize you were ahead of the game already at that point.
I was just, but it was natural.
Doing that,
like, it was just natural though, and in hindsight, looking back now, it's like, wow, like, I was already analyzing things like that, where most people were just like, oh, yeah, Pac, this is my favorite song. I'm over there like, hey, bro, what's that truck doing in the background? That doesn't fit the whole script.
So you had a gift at a young age, and now it's manifesting and much bigger. But tell me, like, how did you get to the point where you're like, all right, now I'm shooting somebody's video? Like, what was that? Was it a friend, or was it like, I'm doing this and I'm going to find somebody to do it? Or like, just how'd that kind of happen, your first music video you ever did?
So what's kind of cool about this is, because people look at me and they're like, oh, you knew what you wanted to do. It's so great. Your whole life, you had it all planned out. And I'm like, far from it. So I literally, my father's a graphic designer, and I was always doing Photoshop and Illustrator, and I was more on the graphic side of things. I used to be the graphic guy. I used to do album work for people, and literally just, I used my garage door. My garage door at my house when I was growing up was a big white garage door, and we used that as the white backdrop, literally to shoot people's photos for like rap mixtape covers and stuff. Nice. So I'd have people come to the house, shoot them on the garage door, cut them out in Photoshop, and then put them into the razzle dazzle. Yeah, you know. So that was like my thing. So I went to college for graphic design, thinking that was what I wanted to do. But the whole time I was doing that, I'd always been dabbling in video, but not music video. Like, I was doing, like, you know, just like jackass stuff, like me and the guys beating each other up, wrestling videos, you know, jumping off with bikes and stupid stuff, right? And I did a short film for like a film thing that was in Chicago, and it was like we got kicked out of the film festival because it was like Jackass style.
Yeah.
This was like way pre-Jackass and like way before like dumb shit was like on the internet.
Cool. Yeah.
So we were doing like crazy stunts and stupid shit, and I submitted this film. Now we were shooting on VHS. Literally on a VHS camera.
Damage yourself again.
Yes, again, horribly. Ironically, I had a kid. I was on set the other day. Kid's 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
No lie. Comes up to me, goes, "Hey, bro, you know anything about VHS?" And he has a VHS recorder. He's like, "The look on this is crazy." And I said, "Bro, I will slap you in the mouth right now, my dog." I said, "Dog." And my other guy, it's his production studio, and this kid's an intern. He's 19 years old, comes over to me with a fucking VHS camera and asks me, "Do I know about VHS? Because it looks dope." I said, "My guy, man, you're choosing to shoot on this. I had no choice but to shoot on this." I said, "Dog, this is how I started."
Tell him he didn't take the tapes and re-record his favorite shows over the top.
Bro, you didn't know if it was like a Martin Lawrence episode or it was your music video that you shot for your guy. You had to quick double check it. So yeah, that's kind of how it worked. But what happened was the switch was I was always into music. I actually had a recording studio. And I use that word very lightly, like not the $1 million one you see in the movies. I literally had like a $10 mic that was not for recording music. It was like a webcam mic. I had that literally duct taped to the wall in my room. And one of my guys that I worked with rapped. And he was like, "Hey, bro, I need a place to record." And I like, and my guy way over embellished. He's like, "Yeah, he got a recording studio." And I'm like, "I got a shitty computer with a fucking webcam mic.
He's
I don't
like,
got
I got to come through." Now.
Exactly. So I try to, I get it all situated. And this kid was actually really good. And we're doing this, and I'm doing the mixtape covers, and like we're getting a lot of attention locally in the city. And I'm always looking like, what's the next level? What's the next step? How do we make it bigger? How do we do this? So naturally, I'm like, we got to figure out how to do a music video. And he's like, "Yeah, we definitely got to do that." So that's when I started like figuring that whole system out. So I shot a music video for him, and with literally a camera from a news station. One of my guys' dads literally worked for like Fox 6 or 12, I can't even remember. But they were able to rent cameras out. So he rented us a camera so we could shoot the first music video. So we got like the Fox 6 joint. We're out there in the field, like with the Fox 6. Like it looks like we're doing a newscast. We're shooting a rap video. I did that, and the attention we got from that, because at this point, this is canified. There's no such thing as like we're on VHS. Yeah, literally like the genesis of like having.
You only have at that time you have to have a big budget to have any video.
You got to be a trillionaire to do this. And we figured out how to do it on a player. And that's kind of how my whole career has gone. Like me figuring out how to do it on a finesse is still to this day one of the reasons why I am who I am. But at that moment in time, it was just, how do we get it done? I'm always the guy since the beginning of time. You cannot tell me I can't do something. I'm gonna figure it out. Like I don't care if I gotta go here, go there. I'll drive for 55 hours straight. Like I'll figure it out. And like whenever anybody says things can't be done, like I love it. That literally is like, "Oh, okay, bet. All right, cool." I don't even continue that conversation. When people tell me I can't do something, I don't even entertain the conversation. I'm just like, "All right, bet, my guy. Hey, nice to meet you." Boom, and then I go make it happen. So that's basically what I did. Got the camera, shot the video. And then the attention that it got, I'm like, "Oh, we might be on to something." But I'm not thinking career-wise, right?
Right.
At this point, I'm still into the graphic arts. I'm still doing, running a recording studio, doing a million things. I'm still in high school. So it's like, you're not really, like as much as I was thinking about career, like just in general, because, you're in high school, college, what am I going to do? That kind of thing. But not like, man, I got to lock something down. Yeah. Like I was never that guy. I'm always kind of been the guy where I'm like, let me dabble in something. Let me just test the waters before I dive in. And this is kind of what I was doing. But the attention we got from that video, it was like we were on in our minds. You know what I'm saying? Because we were like Milwaukee famous overnight. We brought out a video. We're the only people that have a music video.
That's crazy.
And everyone's like, everywhere we, "Oh man, that video crazy." And I'm like immediately, I'm thinking like, okay, it's going to be dope. But like the attention we got and the way that people were treating us, and I'm like, man, this is literally something that's like, we got a lane here.
Yeah. So how long did you from that point start making videos till that first like real industry moment happened that kind of broke you through?
So it was a long time because for two reasons. For one, the insecurity is as confident as I am with my skill set. Until I get the skill set to the level where I feel confident, I'm not confident, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I basically
gotta put the work in and you feel that you get that confidence.
Exactly. So I'm always confident in what I can do, but if I haven't specifically done it enough or had enough, experience in it, I don't have that confidence. So as I continue to do things, my confidence builds, and then once it gets to a certain point, I'm like at 80%, boom, then I jump in. That's kind of what happens. So I wouldn't. Other people ask me to shoot videos, I'd always say, I'm good. And I would just keep it with the team for two things. One of the reasons also was just on some Milwaukee, it's only for us kind of thing. We had the corner on the market because we're the only ones shooting videos.
Yeah.
And if I gave that to somebody else, it would take away the fact that we're the only ones with a video. That's that, that small mind, small city. I didn't understand at that point, like what it was. So shot that video, boom, boom, boom. For years, I just shot with my people, not making any money, was spending my own money to shoot these videos, renting things and buying props and, doing this and that. And then I remember there was one day where a local guy hit me and he was like, bro, what's it going to take? I really want to shoot a video with you. And I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Same as I told everyone. And he's like, bro, I got $500 for you. And I'm like, I could really use $500 right now. Like, I think I could do it for you. And literally that was like the moment where it turned into like a business in my mind. Yeah. The switch, it flipped. And not even just because of the money thing, but because this guy, he contacted me. He really wanted the product. The demand was there, supply and demand.
You understood your value for that at that moment.
Yeah. And the power of no was already like really powerful at that point because I told him no, I'm good. And he was like, bro, what's it gonna take? And I'm like, bro, I'm good. And he's like, bro, I got $500 for you. And I'm like, let me get back to you. And I had to think about it because I literally, I didn't want to give up the fact that we're the only ones with videos, but I'm also understanding like at some point in time, other people are gonna start shooting videos like
right.
And if I don't expand now, someone else is gonna take these jobs and shoot these videos and do this stuff. So I took the money and I shot the video and I went crazy with it the same way I do everything. Like regardless if I'm getting paid $1 or $1 million, I go hard. Yeah. Because I don't like, ultimately I tell artists this all the time. I'm like, no disrespect. I don't really care about you the way I care about me. And my name's on this the same way your name's on this. So I'm going to go crazy hard on this because I want to look good because my name's on it. So don't get me wrong, like you're benefiting from the fact that I'm never gonna go half on a video because I want to look good. It's my ego. I need to make sure when you present this to people and they see my name on it, even if I'm not in the room and they don't know who I am, I want them to say, "Damn, who shot this video?" Right. I need
no matter what.
No matter what. Yeah. So if I don't feel like I can do that, I just don't take the job. Which is very rare because I know how to make it shake. Right. With a variety of budgets. But I'm saying that's always been, artists have benefited from that for my whole career because I literally don't care what the budget is. If I take the job, I'm going crazy. Yeah. I'm trying to come up with new shots, new angles, new everything, and really encapsulate your image and make you look good. But my main goal when I shoot videos is, whether I'm in the room or not, I want people to say, bro, who shot this video, bro? Yeah. This is crazy. And that's basically the ultimate goal.
So you were pushing it at that level. When did nationally you get that look and you were like, oh shit, I'm getting on right now?
So it was actually, ironically, the guy who I started with the guy that literally we started with the $8 microphone. He started progressing and he was real big. His knack was like the blogs back in the day. So when the blog scene, like how podcasts are blowing up, everyone's doing a podcast. When the music blogs first came out, Hot New Hip Hop, Two Dope Boys, like when those first came out, they were like the Bible for music. If you were able to get a placement on there, you were like you're out of there. Labels
get the flames next to your song. It's a
bro.
wrap.
If you got the 10 flames super duper hot, like you were out of there. So this dude, for whatever reason, had the cheat code on like, I don't know how, because I mean, this is, you know, social media really wasn't a thing. You had to like email people. They really couldn't see who you were. You know, like how on Instagram you can just, oh yeah, they're full of shit. Like you can immediately like just
weed people out.
Boom, hit. That's the greatest thing about it. But I'm saying that we didn't have that, so he just sent music. So it was solely based off of music, and he was able to lock in on all these different blogs. And when he started popping, he got in touch with a DJ Woogie, who's out of the East Coast, and he worked with Trae Tha Truth from Houston. Now, at this time, I didn't know who the hell Trae was. I had no idea, because Houston's like a whole nother world.
Yeah, they
you know
got
what I'm saying?
Own culture.
Yeah. I didn't know. I'm like, only people I knew out of there was like Slim Thug, Paul Wall, these guys. You know what I'm saying? The more super mainstream guys. And Woogie's like, yo, I work with this dude Trae. I'm gonna send him my friend. I'm gonna send him some of your music and see what he does. Boom, boom, boom. He calls back like, yo, Trae want to hop on a record. And then we're like, well, we want to shoot the video.
Right.
You know, we already know what time it is. Like, yeah, let's shoot the video. So I shot the video with Trae. Now, mind you, before this, I had been doing some kind of medium level artists, and I shot with like Kid Ink before he was Kid Ink, and I shot with a handful of people, but it was very difficult at this point. Like it was like tooth and nail trying to get these guys, and I didn't have a big portfolio. I was kind of the local guy here. It was like, you know, in the industry, it's all about like kind of, you already know, like
power moves.
Who have you shot with? What does your videos look like?
The resume.
Exactly. And I didn't have it. So it was very hard to get people to you know, for me to work with them essentially. But when they did the record, we go crazy on the video for the artist's name was Talent. So Talent, literally, we went crazy on his video because we're like, bro, this is it. We're about to blow the fuck up.
Yeah.
We're out of here. We're like, you know, we're signing checks already that we ain't got money for. We're ready to roll. Because, you know, Trae's like the first industry feature that he ever had. And it was like, you know, once I did some research on Trae, I realized like immediately, like, oh, okay, this dude's like a legend, you know what I'm saying? Big down south guy. And so we went, I'm talking about ballistic. Cars, doing all kinds of stuff, buying lights that I didn't really, you know, have a big lighting package or anything like that. I'm renting everything. We put our own money. We probably put a couple $1,000s of our own money into that video. Like just cashed out. We're ready. We're ready to sign the deal. Go hang out with Jay-Z. So we shoot that, and then I go to shoot Trae's part in New York. So I get to New York, I'm like scouting, I'm you know, a couple hours early, and he's like, yo, meet me at the hotel or whatever. And I've never really dealt with like somebody on his level at this point, right? And I'm like, yo, I probably got to talk to the label and the management and all this other stuff. And there, you know, there was no such thing. It was just talking to Trae. Trae's calling me like, yeah, fool, come over here. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like
where's your people's at?
Exactly, right? But that's not how Trae moves. But, you know, not being in the industry at that point, you have all these like ideas of how it works. So long story short, Trae hits me. I go to the hotel to meet him, and now I have like within the block of his hotel, I have locations set. I'm like, bet it's New York. Everything looks dope. Yeah, you can get a fire video like basically anywhere.
Right.
So I'm like, this is gonna be hard. Super simple. 1, 2, 3. Trae's like, hey, bro, we just gonna shoot it here in the hotel. I'm like,
come on now.
I literally, and I don't have, but bro, I'm Joe Nobody at this point.
You can't tell him what's going on.
And I got a little 7D. I got a little $1,500 camera. Like I look like a bozo. I don't have no lights with me, nothing. And I'm like, all right. So like, where in the hotel? Like I'm looking around. Like, you know, immediately I go into panic mode. I'm like, oh shit, we got this crazy ass video. Do want to shoot in the hotel? I'm like, well, let me see if maybe we can. So I'm like, man, well, let's go check out the rest of the hotel. He's like, no, we're just gonna shoot it here in the lobby. Like we're in the lobby of the hotel, and it was a regular ass. It was not one.
Did you feel deflated? You were like,
nah, literally, like it went from like it was almost like sink or swim moment. So I'm like, okay, I know the other part of the video is hard. I can fill in a lot of this and just basically cut into Trae. As long as we got Trae, we're good. Yeah, having him in the video, you already know
that's key.
It's key. So I'm like, it's not the end of the world. At least we got him. You know what I'm saying? Like I can razzle dazzle it. We can put some effects on it. We can do something to make it like why, like it'll make sense. I'm like, I'm gonna make it make sense that he's in this hotel. Like we can maybe even like be totally obvious that he's in the hotel, but for a reason. Like he just got off a plane. We can show some B-roll of a plane flying in and like, you know, whatever. We can make
hold the luggage while you spitting or something.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, boom, boom, boom. We shoot it, and it was so funny. It came out really good. There was actually like a wall like this, like a flat black wall. And I literally had him like sit underneath like the actual, like just the hotel lighting, and it's kind of shadowy and it looks kind of playerish. It looks like we're on like, you know, like
some set or
something, right?
Yeah.
So we shoot it, send it to Woogie, where we're all pumped up. Boom, I get a call from Trae. He's like, hey, bro, why is dude's scenes way colder than mine? I literally wanted to throw the phone against the wall. I said, bruh, I told you when we sat down that we went crazy on dude shit. And I literally had locations right outside the hotel. He was like, yeah, I mean, it's cool, but like dude's scenes are way colder than mine. Yeah. I said, dog, I told you. He was like, all right. And then literally like, I'm like, oh man, now we got Trae's pissed.
Yeah, he's got that deep voice too.
Yeah, I'm like,
through you.
And I'm like, damn, like I'm thinking we're good with Trae. Everything's good to go. We're excited about the video. Trae calls, he's pissed. And I'm like, damn. And then all of a sudden the conversation shifts. He's like, hey, bro, I need you to shoot some shit for me. And I'm like, all right. Because, you know, I'm thinking Trae's about, you know, like I'm on his bad side now. He didn't like what I shot, whatever, da-da-da. And it was the opposite. He saw, because I went so crazy and spent all my money shooting with my guy, we put all that money into his part of it. He was mad that his scenes didn't look as good. Yeah. But it also revealed to him my potential. And at this point in time, he needed a guy. Nice. It was just perfect timing. And the fact that we went so hard on Talent's part of the video, he saw immediately. He was mad that his scenes didn't look as good.
Right. And
I explained. I said, bro, that's what I do. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, I'm gonna need you to come to Houston. I need you to shoot some videos for me.
Damn.
So I literally went to Houston and shot 3 videos with Trae in one day. I lost my luggage. When I got there, they literally, this is, you know, moving forward now, I'm a professional traveler. You don't check a bag. I checked the bag with all my clothes in it. Luckily, I had my backpack that had all my gear in it. I had no clothes. I came on the plane with a white tee and some hooping shorts and sandals on, like on some real bummy airplane joint, you know?
Yeah, some O2.
Because it was the 4 a.m. flight.
Yeah.
So I'm like on the plane like this. I get off, the luggage is lost. Trae's blowing me up. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get this luggage. He's like, don't worry about it, bro. We'll get you right. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, we'll get you situated. Don't worry. He's like, I got 1,000 people waiting at this location right now. We're doing this huge scene, like the whole city of Houston and Trae. Yeah. So boom, I get there. I'm in sandals. Freeway's there. The rapper Freeway's there. Like, it's like, I literally like go, I'm thinking like, it's just going to be me and Trae. And there's like thousands of people, Freeway's there, all this crazy shit. This is the biggest set I've ever been on in my life.
And you pulling up with sandals on.
I'm pulling up with the chanclas on, and I'm like, bruh. And I got like, you know, like a real like dusted white tee on. Like I'm looking like, I'm like, bro, I'm looking weak, super weak. It's like 115 degrees outside.
Sweating it up too.
Sweating immediately. I sweat when it's 65 and above. So I'm like, you know, the second I get out the car, I'm melting. I'm like, I'm thinking I'm gonna be able to get there, get to the hotel, get situated, boom, boom,
straight
boom.
to the set.
I found out real quickly that Trae works like a machine. Because I'm like thinking we're doing one video. We shot 3 that day. We literally just jumped from location to location to location. And I literally, after the first big group scene, we went to the gas station. I bought a gas station tee because my was so whack.
Yeah.
I tried to buy some shoes at the gas station, which never is a good idea.
Don't do that.
I literally kept the sandals on because the shoes were so whack. I'm like, bro, I already look so weak. I'm like, bro, if I go get the Air Gordons, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna be out of there. I'm like, I can't be filmed with me. I'd rather have the sandals.
People are like, who'd you bring in here to
bro,
shoot?
Now mind you, these are all like stone cold Houston gangsters, bro. I'm talking about everyone's grilled up. It's swangers everywhere. Everyone's got big gold bracelets, chains going crazy. I look like the dude mowing the lawn. And I'm the guy shooting the video. But what was so dope about it was, and this is where I gained a lot of confidence. I was already confident. Like, I'm like, bro, you brought me here.
Yeah.
You liked what I did. I don't care what no one else looks or whatever. But Trae treated me like I was Steven Spielberg. And he made everybody else treat me like Steven Spielberg. Like, he's like, yo, this Philly, he the illest dude in the whole industry, bro. Like, whatever he needs, make sure he's straight. Philly says it's whatever. And people like moved for me.
Yeah.
All Trae's people, well, Philly was good. Yeah, you need us over here. Well, we knew, okay, we on. And I'm like, this is crazy. And so his confidence, like the way he had confidence in me, immediately, like, I was good. I'm like, if Trae says I'm good, I'm good. That's all I'm worried about. Everybody in here respecting me because Trae told them, this is what's up. Philly's the guy. And everyone's like, bro, I need you to shoot videos for me, man. That's what's up. You Trae's people, da-da-da. So immediately confidence through the roof. The videos went crazy. Everything was amazing. But that was like, again, another example of me literally having like, the fire to my neck and just getting to it.
And then what year was that? Was that...
I don't even
Was
remember.
the I'm On series, was that part of that?
No.
Or that was after?
That was after.
So tell me a little bit about that, because, I'm listening to all these things. I like know all this stuff, and I'm like looking back, I'm like, damn, that was you. You know, and in that series, literally, it was like a cipher with, and if you haven't listened to the I'm On series, just go. But
it's really
crazy.
It's unbelievable.
You got so many artists before they broke through, or right when they were coming up, and then legends like. How did those first two work though? Because that was early on. Logistically, like how many shoot days was that? How were you flying all over to get everyone, or was everybody like happened to be in one city at that time? Like how'd that kind of work?
So the I'm Ons, just in a nutshell, like you said, there's like 9 guys on one record.
Right.
It's like 4 or 5 really. I'm just exaggerating, but I'm saying it's
3.0 is deep though.
3.0 is that's what Trae, of course. Let's put more guys on the record. So long story short, Trae knows everyone in the industry, and he hits up everyone and their mom to hop on this record, and it's basically like that. It's one big record. Everyone does a verse. And Mark Morrison sample, I'm on. So that's what I'm on.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, yep. So everyone knows that record. He sampled that. So this is like probably like 2 months in of knowing Trae. And now, mind you, when I met Trae, he told me, if you come mess with me, and we rock, I'll have you shooting with everybody in the industry. And when you shooting with me, I'll make sure that they go and shoot with you so you get some money in your pocket. And I'm like, bet. Didn't believe him.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
You don't want to get your hopes up. You're getting into it.
My expectations in my life have always been, I'm not optimistic or pessimistic. I'm just right in the middle. Until I see something, I don't really believe it. And I also don't deny it either. I just like, all right, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. If worst case scenario, I just shoot Trae's video, that's cool with me. I don't really care. So this is 3 months in. He sends me this record. He's like, yo, bro, we're going to do something ain't nobody ever done. I'm going to put all these dudes on the record. And I'm like, bet. Sends it to me. I'm listening to it. Now, at the time, I'm listening to it, and I'm like, some of the voices, I they stand out. I'm like, okay, that's, da-da-da, bam. And there's a voice on there that's like, I don't really know who it is, rapping his ass off, shit's dope. And I'm like, yo, who's this dude on the second verse? He's like, oh, his name's Kendrick. And I'm like, oh, okay, bet. Didn't think anything of it. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's dope. So when I go to shoot this video now, mind you, it's 6, 7 people on there. Some of the times I'm with Trae, some of the times he just sends me solo. It took about 8 months to shoot. Every one of them took about 8 months because you're tracking down all these artists. But I remember specifically when I went to shoot, I shot J. Cole's on it and Kendrick.
Yeah.
J. Cole.
Which, has that ever happened before or since?
I don't think so. I don't know. Don't mark my words on that. Yeah. But J. Cole and Kendrick are on it. And to be honest with you, I would literally have to reference, because we're on the third one and there's a million guys on each one to see who's actually on each version. There's 1, 2, and 3. But I remember specifically, obviously, J. Cole and Kendrick are on that first one. But at this point, J. Cole's kind of in the game, but Kendrick's not yet. This is right before Kendrick blew.
It's like his mixtape was out. Section, was it Section 1?
He was big in L.A.
Yeah.
Like, not even big, but known. Like, people knew who he was. He was like a local up-and-comer kind of dude. So I remember when I went to shoot with him, one of my people was like, oh, yeah, that's the homie from the neighborhood, so I'm going to come with you, boom. And they were chopping it up. But we were shooting with Kendrick, like, in the middle of the neighborhood, and no one knew who he was. Like, people are walking by, like,
crazy.
People's grandmas are walking by, kids are walking by, and no one cares that it's Kendrick Lamar. And neither did I. Like, we literally, when we shot in the neighborhood, and then there was like a chop shop kind of like warehouse that I saw on the corner. It was super dope. This was a really cool moment when we went. I was like, yo, let's go over there. Kendrick was like, all right, let's go over there. So me and him are just walking through the neighborhood, me and Kendrick Lamar, we walk into this warehouse and it's like this old guy, probably like 75 years old, but like Italian guy, like on some real, yo. And he's like, yo, what are y'all doing? Y'all need something? Y'all need a car? Da, da, da. And we're like, no. Hey, bro, is that cool if I give you like, you know, a couple bucks so we could shoot in the back, like use your warehouse? Yeah. Literally pulls out a gun. And he's like, yeah, just don't fuck around. Literally pulls out a gun, shows us the gun. He's like, yeah, you're good. Just don't fuck around. And we're like,
we got you.
We got you, my guy. And me and Kendrick are just laughing. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, shit, don't break nothing. Don't, whatever. We're in like a chop shop, though. I'm like, bro, like, what are we going to do here, you know? So we're in the back of this dude's shop shooting these scenes with Kendrick. And I mean, I have photos of it and everything like that. And I mean, at the time, I had absolutely no idea. And I remember, so we got done filming the video, but within the time of us filming the rest of it and getting to the point of completing it, Dr. Dre says, Kendrick's the sound of the West. He's like, he's the new sound of the West. Dre stamps him out of there.
So before it drops, he already got the clout. At the time, you were like...
It all happened in real time. Shoot with him. I have no idea who he is. Within the matter of me getting the rest of the video shot, Kendrick blows up and is like way out of there. Yeah. So, you know, the video goes from like already being dope, but now like the one guy, because like Tyga was on there, J. Cole, all these other guys were on there, Wale was on there. So it's like
Lupe too, I think. Right?
Yeah, yep. Lupe was on that one. Man, it's so hard for me to remember all these people that are on each version, but it was really dope because, you know, in real time while we have this project, dude blows up. And then it turns into like this whole other thing. It was already crazy dope, but Kendrick was like the unknown he was like the guy that like almost like Trae was throwing him a bone,
right.
Which is crazy because within the time of us shooting it, he became the guy that we were like afraid to put him on there because no one knew who he was, to being the biggest name on the video. All in that the process of it happening. So I mean, like that just goes to show you too, just you know how the industry works too. Like you can literally be the grinding. I can't put $10 together to buy a sandwich to being like the guy.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So obviously, like a video like that's got so much going into it, and just has a lot of pieces. For you, we're going to talk a little bit more about your process. What is pre-production wise? Are you putting together treatments? How are you kind of working with the artist to put their vision together? And I know it's different based on budgets or whatnot, and how much time you probably put into like pre-production. But how does that typically work for you? And kind of how do you make that happen?
So this is I think this is something that separates me from a lot of different people, and just based on me dealing with a lot of different people. No matter where the budget's at, I try to do as much pre-production as possible, because that's obviously at the end of the day, if you're just showing up hoping for the best, like don't get me wrong, I could literally shoot something right here and make it look good, right? Mm-hmm. But if you even just give me an hour of time, if you told me right now we want to shoot a scene with you in an hour, give me that hour of time. In that hour of time, I'm going to put something together and just kind of analyze and get stuff situated. And that's basically what I do with every single video, because again, like I said, I'm very selfish with my work. I want it to look good. I don't care if you look good. I'm gonna make you look good, but I want people to say who shot the video. That's my goal. Mm-hmm. So no matter what the budget is, and obviously budget restrictions on ideas kind of come into play, but I always find a workaround. I'll find like a variation of a $30,000 shot. How do we do, like, when you ever see the meme, the client expectation, client budget? Mm-hmm. Like I find the middle of that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I know you want to blow this helicopter up. That ain't happening. But we can maybe blow a car up, like get your cousin's car that he's going to throw it to scrap. We'll just blow that up. Yeah. So, and we'll go to the middle of a field. We don't need a permit, but we'll just let it burn and get the hell out of there before the cops show up. Exactly. So that's basically one of the things I think that's set me apart from everybody is, I treat everything the same, right? Mm-hmm. I treat the $30,000 budget and the $3,000 budget the same. Like I try to do as much pre-production as possible. Like a lot of people kind of like say, well, I'm only getting $3,000. I'm not doing pre-production. I'm like, bro, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Like, don't take the job then. Yeah. If you're not going to put, the whole razzle dazzle pack on it, just leave it at home. You know what I'm saying? Because your name's on it. And you're going to water down your product. If that's it. So don't take the job. I'd rather see somebody not take the job than say something like, well, I'm not going to do my best work because it's only $3,000 or it's only $300 or it's only $500, whatever the budget is. I'd rather just see you not take the job. And I mean, I think ultimately a lot of guys need to start evaluating that. Like, hey, if you feel like you can't do your best work for this budget, don't take the job, because ultimately jobs lead to more jobs. Like work creates work. That's one of my mottos. Work creates work. You know, this $500 video, I've had $0 videos I've spent money on myself, I didn't even make money on, have opened doors for me that have made me thousands of dollars.
And that's a Philly fact, right?
That's
there.
a Philly fact, literally. So I you know, putting that 100% on these things literally is I think one of the major pinpoints that a lot of guys don't do and that they should do. Like if you're gonna do it, just do it 100%. And people have said this a million times. Like if you're gonna do it right, or don't do it at all. But specifically because 900% of my networking and, like I said with Trae, is my work opened another door. And if I would have gave that a half-ass job, that door would not have been open. So stop looking at it like it's one piece of work. That work could open up 10 doors. So if you look at it like that, though, your expectation's different, right?
Right.
So if you're like, hey, this $500 video that I'm shooting, it's way cheap. I know it's not, I'm not really making any money. I'm probably going to take some of it and buy some lights and some props, probably lose money on this video. But if you understand and you see the bigger picture, that $500 video could make you $50,000. And once you switch your mindset to that and realize the bigger picture when it comes to this production and to these products, and how this small $500 video could open the door for these other big projects, then you start putting in the work.
Changes it.
And you start going hard, and you understand, like, I think a lot of people associate it with the artist. Well, man, he only want to pay me $500. I'm not going to go hard for him.
Right.
I never thought like that. My mind was like, I don't care about the artist. I care about taking this video, showing other people to make money with.
Yeah. You just need a subject so you can get out there and make your art.
And the artist benefited from that, because they're like, bro, you did this for $500. I'm like, bro, I didn't do it for you.
Yeah.
No offense. I did it for me, because I'm taking this product and I'm going to go get a $5,000 budget. I'm going to get a $50,000 budget. I'm going to get these big budgets with your video. You know what I'm saying? So you benefit because I got to go hard, but I'm taking your product and showing other people. Right. And I've seen it. It's happened to me a million times. So that's, I mean, one of the biggest things I talk about, I do the Philly facts, and I always, try to put on game. But like that $500 video could easily net you $5,000, $20,000, $30,000 videos. I've done it with $500 videos. Literally taking a $500 video opens the doors for multiple people, from T.I. to Trae to all these people. My videos that I put my money into open those doors. So if I would have looked at those videos with the mindset of like, man, I'm only making $500, or I'm not putting my own money into this, that's small thinking. You take that $500 video, you could roll that thing in, triple down, and down the road, you can make thousands of dollars from that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I've gotten, I was lucky enough to be on set with you for the Drace music video.
Yep.
And we had a private jet. It was dope. There was a car that came in, all that. And it was, I had been following you for a long time, and it was the first time getting around you. And the one thing I noticed, you were all about work. There was no bullshit. It was like, we're getting to it. You came in, had the vision, knew exactly what you needed, and was so strategic in like your shots and how many takes you needed to know it was a wrap. Could you just talk a little bit about like, okay, what do you know you need to like, okay, this scene's done and we can move on? Like kind of how does that process in your head? Because I just noticed it was like, okay, we're good.
And then you saw the edit.
And then the edit was fire and everything was right where it needed to be.
It had everything it needed. I think it's just like anything. You see LeBron, he shoot 10,000 shots so that he can make 5, 6 in the game, right? Obviously more, but you know what I'm saying? That repetition and that shooting from the corner, shooting from the top of the key, you got to work on your shot before the game. And that's literally what it boils down to. Right. And the way that I did that was shooting with my friends. I could make mistakes with the guys, I can make those mistakes. I have the liberty of, you're my guy. If it doesn't pan out, I'll see you tomorrow, we'll reshoot it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like getting those repetitions in and using the camera, because when you're comfortable with your camera, like everyone always is like, oh, bro, I need this camera. I need a red cam. I need an RE cam. I need this. I need to spend more money. And I'm like, bro, listen, take what you have and just perfect it, because I'm telling you, like even nowadays, like even the low level cameras, if you know how to freak that camera, you're gonna get something that's dope. You know, it's an amazing world right now to be in for production, because even the low level cameras, I mean, I'm shooting stuff on my iPhone right now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, because I know the settings, I know what lens, I know what time of day to shoot, all these factors that go into it. You know, and the repetition of using my camera all the time and shooting a lot built that confidence. That didn't happen overnight. I used to be timid. I used to be a little worried. I used to overshoot, do a couple extra takes and all this other stuff, you know, just to make sure, even though in my mind I'm like, I'm pretty sure I got it on the first one, but my insecurity would be like, let me just get two more. And then I'd go to editing, and I would, the first take was perfect, like I knew it was, and I'd have two more clips on there, and I'm like, this is a waste of time. Yeah. I'm like, we literally, you know, and even 15 extra minutes on set can equate to more money, can equate to artist fatigue, artists going through the song. Already, he's already doing the song 20 times on set, you know, and then you add 5 more to that, it's artist fatigue. And by the time that third take goes, he's already bored and fatigued. So you're not even getting a good take out of him.
Getting the good stuff. And I noticed too, you'll do multiple shoots in a day.
Yeah.
And that's probably not possible if you're taking all this extra time and
But it's like, you know, this is something that Milwaukee kind of bred in me too. It's the lack of resources. Even when I have the resources, I don't want to waste them. So it's like I'm very scarce with, you know, it's like I'm in the desert with, like, I got 2 capfuls of water. Like, I can't drink these shits at the same. I got to stretch this out. I'm going to be out here in the desert all day. I got to get to it. So it's like the necessity of, like, never having budgets has made me very frugal, even with budgets, because I'm like, why would I want to waste more money and pay for this location for an additional hour?
Right.
You know, so I think the best thing I can say to that, just to kind of sum that up from my perspective, is utilizing your camera to the best of its ability, getting those repetitions in with your friends, with your whoever it is, where it's a relaxed environment, so that, you know, you don't have to be under pressure. When you get under pressure, it's just like LeBron. Why do you think LeBron hit the game winner? Because he did 10,000 shots before there was no one in the arena. He was in there 4 hours early shooting shots. That same shot he hit the game winner, he shot 10,000 of them shots before. He closed his eyes. He already know how to do it. And that's what it equates to. The repetitions, me doing it so often, got me to the point. But again, this doesn't happen overnight. It took me years to build that where I can go on set confidently, get one take of somebody and know we're good. And I don't get to the edit floor and go, oh, bro, this is the worst take. And that never happens. It never happens to me.
Yeah. So then what's the process when you're like, I don't have much budget, I don't have the bells and whistles, I just got to go make something that's live, energetic, and just make it happen? What's your go-tos? Do you have any tips that are like, okay, I got low budget to no budget, I'm just gonna make something dope? What's the first thing you're thinking about in that situation?
So with that, the literally location, and guess what? There's like cheat codes within the location world that I utilize all the time. One is Google Maps. Okay, so let's just say, hey, you got to go to St. Louis in the morning, and I need you to shoot some with a guy. You got him for an hour, and you got to do it tomorrow morning. If I told you that right now, what are you gonna do? You either gotta figure something out, right? You don't have no money. Like, we just gotta shoot him in the street. Okay, we got a street video, but it's St. Louis. I'm not even from there. I don't know the spots. Like in Milwaukee, I could give you 30 spots right off the top of my head. I could know right where we can go. Boom, 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 boom. But now let's just say I throw you into the fire. New city, never been there. You don't know anybody there. How do you do it? Google Maps. I literally hit Google Maps, and you can virtually drive around the city and literally see your shots. And then see if there's parking, see if there's you can literally map the whole thing out. Okay, there's a parking lot right there, so we can pull up right there. We can get this angle. We can do. I just did it in Philadelphia. Ironically, I'd never shot in Philadelphia. My name's Philly. My middle name's Philip. I'm not from Philadelphia. I never shot in Philadelphia. I've been there a bunch of times.
Philly and Philly last week.
Exactly. First time in Philly, and that's what happened. I was shooting with these guys, and we needed some locations. And the guy I was working with, very low budget. You know, these are up and coming guys. Just they didn't have any money. And they're just like the artist that wants to show up on set and go home. They don't want to be a part of the production at all, which some artists do. So they gave us nothing. no creative, no ideas, no locations, nothing. So we were coming from, and I've been there a bunch of times, but I've never like been there shooting. So I don't even have my little like go-to spot. So I Google Maps, driving around, pick out my locations, see where we can park. I literally pin the parking, boom. Now I got my spots, and I can get with Google, you get the 360 of it. So I can see what's behind, I can see what's over here, I can see everything. So Google Maps is like my super cheat code for like, literally, because you can virtually drive around and literally map out your host, where you're going to be parking, how can you pull up, there's security over here. Well, if we pull up real quick, get the shot, by the time security comes over, we already got the shot, we can get out of there, like all that stuff. So that's like a cheat code, big cheat code. And then you got to have your little go-to pack, right? So my go-to pack, I have I got like a light bar. I got a light bar that I always have in my backpack, literally all the time. Because you never know, like let's just say in this room right here, we don't have this light, we just have house lighting. House lighting always looks kind of trash. Yeah. So, but with a light bar, I can kind of structure, my lighting. Yeah. And that immediately brings up the production value. So even if we're just like right here in this one location and you're like, say you're Michael Jordan, I come walking in, they're like, hey, Jordan said you can get a quick shot of him. I'm not turning down a Michael Jordan shot. Yeah. I'm getting that shot.
We're going to just do it.
And I can't have it looking weak. You know what I'm saying? I'm right with the backpack. Whoop, light stick. I got my guy. Yo, hold that over his head. You're the C-stand. Yep. Boom. Now I got a decent looking shot. Might not be the most craziest, but now it at least looks like there's a little production back. Yeah. So that's my little... my little razzle dazzle pack. That's what I'm saying. You gotta have your little go-to stuff. Yeah. So Google Maps is like cheat code of the millennium. I love it. Love Google Maps for finding locations in cities I don't know. Or my other little cheat code too is Google, if you're in a city, Google best place for Instagram pics. Yeah. And literally these Instagrammers have done all the scouting.
They did everything.
They did all the scouting for you. Yeah. They'll literally down to the T. It'll like, I had guys say like, you have to go up through the bottom corridor and go up the second staircase, and there's a platform up there where you get the best shot. And I'm like, bruh,
got it.
You literally just scouted this location for me.
Appreciate it.
So boom, I Googled best Instagram locations for a place, and then Google Maps. I go Google Maps it, scout it myself, check it out, get the parking. Because like sometimes we shot on a bridge. We shot on a bridge in Philadelphia. The bridge is not easy to get access to, and we had to walk to the middle of the bridge. So I had to map out where we were going to park in order to get access to the one way to get on this bridge, which is like you have to cross a freeway. It's like it was very odd, very awkward, right? But had I not done that beforehand and got there, I probably would have burned 45 minutes trying to figure out where that one way to get on there is. And I did that prior with not even having to go there. I didn't have to pay somebody to scout for me. I didn't have to do nothing. I Google Maps it. I saw the little staircase. I saw where you could park to get the closest to it. And then boom, we got to it. But I'm saying a lot of the times, if you don't do that and you just say we're going to shoot on the bridge, you could burn 40 minutes trying to find parking.
Yeah, waste a lot of time. I've been there before.
Yeah, everyone has. Yeah. So that Google Maps really buys you that luxury of being there without being there.
Yeah. So that's the low end of the budget. And looking at this video you did, it's probably my favorite one that you've done, and it's the West Side video with the game. Yeah. That looked like that was big budget stuff.
That was like, I think that was like a $30,000 budget.
Really?
Yeah, it was like $30K. But
to me, it looked like they dropped $1 million on that. Like it was crazy.
But that's like
production value and all that.
But that's where like that's where I excel. Like I've had multiple times where record labels have given me very minimal budgets, $3,000, $5,000, whatever, but want like some crazy idea. They just, that's how labels are. That's how they want the world for no matter what the budget is. They expect you to be walking on water in every video. And for me for that video, the biggest thing about that video, so we basically, it's a recreation. It's kind of like a Mad Maxy, like, Tupac. It's like we kind of mashed together a bunch of different ideas, but essentially like a Mad Max in the desert video. So the majority so for a video like that, right, in order to sell it, all the details need to be there. So the location has to be perfect. Middle of the desert, got to look like, every middle of the desert movie that you've ever seen. So location's real big, and then the cars, and then the wardrobe, and then the extras. Everyone has to be kind of wearing the same clothes, because it's like if these people live in the desert, they all kind of would look the same.
Certain
You
way.
can't have one dude in jeans and the other dude in a full-blown like Mad Max outfit.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna vibe. Everyone needs to be dressed the same way or not on set. So we had 30, 40 people, all had to be dressed. We had Jackie Long came on the set, and they literally had a trailer for him, and they put him in an outfit. Like he came like how I look right now, thinking he was going to be in the video, and they were like, "Bro, no, it's a Mad Max."
So for that, most of the budget just goes to getting costumes. Did y'all rent those vehicles, or were those built?
The cars were from a company. I can't remember the name. It doesn't really matter. There's a bunch of these companies in LA, and they specifically make these kind of like desert, end of the world kind of cars, right? Gotcha. So, but the problem is, and this is where things get tricky with budgets. When you get into bigger budgets, there's money bleeding everywhere that you don't expect, right? No matter how good you produce it or whatever, all this stuff. So these vehicles are obviously like Frankensteins of vehicles, right? So like they don't work that well. So when we they had to trailer them in because they can't drive them, because they don't want them to get wrecked and they don't want to get in an accident and all that stuff. So they had to trailer them in. So just the trailer bringing them in was like $3,000. So you're just paying $3,000 just to get the cars there. That's not paying for the cars. Yeah. So $3,000 just to get them there. And then when they got there, 2 of them didn't start. So now we had to wait. They had to call the guy from the mechanic to come out. We're like 90 minutes away. We're way out in the middle of the LA desert, like in the middle of nowhere. So Buddy comes out. Boom, boom, boom. He working on the cars, finally gets them started. Even though the cars didn't start, we had to pay that mechanic to come out. Jeez. Even though it was their cars and they didn't start, we had to pay for their mechanic to come out. $1,500.
Yeah, just out.
$1,500. And what are you gonna say? We have 30 people out here. We have crew.
Gotta get it done.
So that's what the big budgets. As much as people think they want a big budget, be careful with that, because when you have this many moving pieces and all this big budget stuff on set, trust me, you're gonna bleed money. Put some fluff room in that budget, because you're gonna burn $5,000 and thinking you think you got $30,000, you can do anything until you get $30,000 and realize like I got $30,000 problems now. Yeah, that's it. It literally more money, more problems. Yeah. It's literally that. That's why I don't even like big budgets. I do not care for big budget videos because it's literally always your fault. Something's always happening, and when you have $30,000 videos, you have $30,000 problems. Okay. Yeah. I like $300 problems, right? Not $30,000 problems. And you get that when you get those big budgets, and the stress levels and the amount of stuff, and it all boils down to you. You have to find a pivot.
Got to get it done.
You literally have to. And guess what happens? That comes out of your budget, and in what you're taking home. And by the time you're done with it, most of the time you're not making as much as you thought you were going to make.
Right. You've done so much for Milwaukee, the community here, the creative community. Why is it important for you to, number one, kind of put yourself in places to teach and be a vessel for that, and number two, you always come back to work with local artists. Just talk a little bit about that and why that's important for you.
So I think one of the biggest things that I was exposed to, and this is what I say, one of the things that I always say is like, I think the best thing that anybody can do ever, no matter what industry and no matter who you are or what you do, is you got to move around a little bit, right? You got to experience other cities. You have to experience other places, other people, everything like that, right? Because it literally, whatever you're thinking, the second you get outside of your area to new cities, new people, or whatever, it's literally like it opens up into this Pandora's box, and you immediately start understanding things so much better. You can see it on TV, you can hear it from 100 people, but until you like get in the streets and you're with the people and you start seeing how things work in the real world, like travel and moving around will literally expand your mind and your career and everything that goes with it, because you simply start to firsthand see how things really work compared to what you might have had in your mind based on what you've seen, heard, or been relayed to you. And for me, once I started moving around, I'm like, all these other cities are helping each other out. Like I go to Atlanta and like Future's hanging out with Scooter, and Scooter's hanging out with Gucci, and Gucci's hanging out with, Waka Flocka.
They're all in the network together.
And I'm like, we're up in Milwaukee, like fighting each other for everything. And we're not getting anywhere. Like I immediately realized like this ain't working. Like us trying to scrap for these little, you know, whatever we think in our mind, like this Milwaukee fame that we're so obsessed with, you know. And I mean, I'm a victim of it too, but no one else is doing it, or no one that's making it happen.
Right.
The Atlantas, the Houstons, the LAs, the New Yorks. These guys are not fighting like this. They're helping. They're putting plays on. Like, you know, like Fat Joe literally was the guy, and then moved out of the way and put Pun as the number one guy. Like he was already the guy and moved out of the way and put Pun in position to be the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we just weren't doing that up here, me included. I used to be like, man, this is our stuff. We're not helping these guys out. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. The second I started moving around, I hit LA. I started immediately came back to the city like, all right, new way of thinking.
Yeah.
Start hitting all the DJs, start hitting everybody up, start sharing information with everybody. And immediately you saw what it did. You saw the recoup. You saw how it just expanded things. Yeah. My network started getting bigger. My opportunities started getting bigger within the city and outside of the city. Because look, you're grinding right now, right? Me and you, Link, I help you out with something, right? I don't know that you're talking to Russell Simmons. Right. I don't know that because you've been grinding too. You've been grinding for the last 10 years. So you got all these connections that you've got going, right? And now all of a sudden you have an opportunity and you need another cameraman.
Boom.
Who are you going to call? Because I helped you out. Sure. Just on the local level. I looked out for you. I'm going to be the first guy you're going to call. And now I got a plug with somebody that took you 8 years to get, and I got it within a matter of a month.
Yeah, you got it through one person.
Through one person. Because your grind applied to me. Because I put my grind, I gave you, you know, a blessing. Now you're going to bless me. You know what I'm saying? And that's where, like, once you unlock that, I felt for me unlocking that mental was leaving the city and working with other artists in other cities and understanding the dynamic of how things really work compared to what I had in my mind.
What you had already.
Yeah, and the firsthand example of that is what really cracked the code for me, because I've been told it. Oh, these guys, everyone, they help each other out, and they're all, and I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that. We need this for us.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when I got out of the city, I'm like, okay, this is legit. We're not doing this no more in Milwaukee. At least I'm not. And that's how I've been ever since.
Shoot, that's dope, man. Something else that not a lot of people can say is that you got your own app.
Yeah.
It's called Good Grade.
Yeah.
Can you just quickly tell me how that happened, why that happened, and how you use that app?
So Good Grade is basically like, you know, for me, it's like the pocket knife of editing apps. It's a photo editing app. Really quick, simple, powerful. The LUTs that are built in on there are specific to that app only. It was designed, created by a friend of mine. He's actually, I think he just moved to the UK, but he was based in South Africa. Videographer, editor, colorist, and developer. So he develops this app, and he made it for himself, basically, essentially. And he's kind of using it. I have it. I love it. Using it on set. It's really quick, really simple, does very high and effective edits, doesn't overdo them, just puts that, you know, like just enough makeup on it. Not so much that you see the makeup on it. And I was using it all the time, but it was my friend's, and he wasn't really doing anything with it. And I hit him and I'm like, yo, like, what you doing, bro? And he's like, oh, it's just kind of something I developed. So I just made it because he's on set all the time too. He's like, I need something quick and simple to edit on set or edit in the moment and not have to overthink it. 2-3 buttons, boom, photo looks better, post it, send it. And I'm like, that's exactly what I use it for. I'm in the middle of a shot, like I'm shooting, boop, edit, throw it up.
Send it.
So long story short, I buy the app from him, rebrand it to Good Grade, which is obviously a play on, like, you know, you get good grades, but grading is obviously, like, you know, grading is, you know, when we color. So Good Grade is the name of the app, and I've literally, for me, it's marketed towards just everyday consumer of somebody that just wants the quick, simple, just put that little bit of, you know what I'm saying, mayonnaise on that sandwich real quick and get it out the door. And make it look good, and it's strong, it's fast, it's effective, and I've been using it for years, and now it's my app, and we've been slowly. I mean, that's a whole nother world for me, the app world, and it goes hand in hand with what I do, because everybody asks me like, bro, what do you edit your photos with? Because I post so much stuff, and I immediately have an answer for them now. And when we first put it out, I had no idea how to market it, just because it's a whole new world for me. And I did one of my Philly facts, which is my kind of sit down talking to the camera thing, and one of the big indie filmmaker websites posted me and highlighted that it was sponsored by Good Grade. You know, I'm sponsoring myself, so but it was like it looks.
I see you working.
Yeah, exactly. So I finessed the sponsored by Good Grade. It's my app, you know, but I didn't say it was my app. I just said that it was sponsored by Good Grade. Kind of a, you know, I didn't lie, but I didn't tell you the whole truth.
Yeah, make people go do some research.
Exactly. So the indie filmmaker site posts this, highlights Good Grade with the link on it, and we got 26,000 downloads, and it's free.
Right.
It's free. And that's another thing. Everyone's like, bro, make money off of it and do all this other stuff. I said there might be a time and a place when we can do that, but my original, you know, way of doing this was just to give that out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let me bless you real quick.
Right.
Let me bless the church here with the Good Grade app. So I mean, if the thing is this, it's obviously it's powerful enough that, like, you know, production people like us are gonna enjoy it. But I have girls, kids, you know, all
I
kinds
shared
of
it
people.
with the wife and the sister-in-law, and they're using it to, you know, do their little IG stuff. So it's out there,
and that's why ultimately that's why it's hard for me to market it. Because I feel like technically it's an all around app that anyone could use. So how do you market to everybody? Like, I'd rather have just, like, you know, the 18 to 25, this guy who, you know, it goes to college. Like, I'd rather have a specific you know, direction with the marketing. So we're still dabbling in the marketing side of it, which has been cool too. Because it's like, it's cool to see what works.
Right.
When it does work, it's like being an artist. You know, like when that record hits, like, oh, okay. Like when we did the post on the indie filmmaker website and it blew up, and literally I got the notification we did 26,000 downloads in like 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, that worked. That worked. That's dope. And then I saw the amount of people. I'm thinking it's for production people, and all of a sudden I have 16-year-old girls,
everybody and their mama on there,
you know, hitting me saying, I love this app, it's the best app ever, I use it all the time, you know, my friends use it. I'm like, didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's been dope.
I got a couple more questions for you. You just were involved in a film departments.
Yeah.
How'd that release come? And you're working with T.I. on that movie, and it seems like a comedy that's just like embodies, you know, the city.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, what's that about? And just like give you a little pitch for that.
So I think a lot of people, and I mean, specifically for me, a lot of people just assume, the general public assumes that if you do music videos, you're just going to get in a film one day and become like, you know, Michael Bay. Like the natural progression is film if you do music videos, which is a major misconception. And I never even saw myself doing film. I was just like, I'll do music videos, that's it. And then as I've moved forward, I've kind of dabbled in different things and got more dialogue and storyline and started enjoying that part of it a little bit more. And then, you know, I basically met one of my mentors, Marco Mall, guy, he owns Florida Film House in Miami. I shot a music video with him and T.I. and Lil Wayne down in Miami with him. That's a whole nother story too, but he does film, and I'm shooting a music video, and this guy's just like, yo, bro, you got to do film. You should be doing movies and all that stuff. And I'm like, bro, like I'm the music video guy, dog. Back up. And he put that in my ear, and we stayed in contact. And I just started seeing what he was doing with the films, and he's like, bro, just implement it. Yeah. And he's the one that I shot. It's called the Kevin Gates movie. It's 3 songs of Kevin Gates that we made into one big story.
Right.
And we made it, and we released it as one piece of content. So it's 3 Kevin Gates music videos that we literally create a whole storyline from start to finish, and they transition into the storyline, into the next music video. He's the one that put that together for me. Like, I literally hit him. I'm like, I got to come to Miami, shoot these Kevin Gates videos. He was like, what is it? I'm like, it's 3 records. We'll shoot 3 different videos. He goes, nah, we're going to take all 3 of these and we're going to make it a movie. And I was like, dang, that's crazy. And now I don't have the confidence. I'm not up to game on doing a movie at this point at all. So that was my first dabble of like the actual, like putting together narrative, getting actors, doing all this stuff, but it was with the support of him.
That's awesome.
So again, my confidence wasn't there, but like how Trae gave me his confidence, like Marco gave me his confidence. So I was like, if Marco say we're good, we're good. And I know he knows what he's doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And sure enough, we put it together. It came out amazing. Him and his team basically like supported me when I was, you know, when I needed help, and it just kind of filled in the blanks for me, and we executed it. And so that's where I built the confidence to start. Like, let's start getting dialogue. Let's start getting, doing these small pieces of content to learn, to get my confidence up so that when I step on a real set, I'm good. Same thing as what I talked about with doing music videos, getting those repetitions in, figuring out how to do it on a micro scale so that when I get to a big scale, it's good. So obviously I've been working with Tip for years. Yeah. Tip always looks out for me, always puts me in a position, always, he don't never say thank you, ever, but he calls me back for the job. And as a man, I don't need you to thank me. I don't need you to pat me on the back. Call me for the job. And that's what Tip does. And that's what I respect about him. And in this case, I hear him talking about doing a movie, and in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'm not really the movie guy yet. But I'm like, I wonder if Tip's gonna use me on this one. Right. It's T.I. He can do whatever the hell he wants. You know what I'm saying? So it's always that. And for me, he's done so much for me. Him and Trae collectively have done so much for me. I met Tip through Trae, so I always, relate those two. But I'm saying Tip and Trae have done so much for me. Like, if they use other people or if they go other ways, bro, God bless. I don't feel no kind of way. They've done so much for me already.
Right.
Like, I would have zero hard feelings at all. And then people always say that, like, well, what if they go work with it? I said, bro, the fact that Tip and Trae have worked with me one time is good enough. Yeah. If those guys never work with me again, I could die a happy man. You know what I'm saying? And shouts out to Tip and shouts out to Trae just for putting me in a position to not only just shoot with them one time, but multiple times and grow a relationship and start, expanding. And in this case, specifically with Tip, he has this idea for the movie. I start hearing it floating around. And I'm, like I said, I kind of questioned it. I'm like, I don't know if he's going to use me because I'm the video guy kind of right now.
Yeah.
And he calls me and he's like, oh, we're shooting a movie. And I'm like, all right. So at this point, I've done a lot of small, short films, kind of style music videos.
Yeah.
No real movies.
Yeah.
But I get it. I know what's up. Like, I feel confident enough that I can, whatever. And then I crash course YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I hit masterclass. I'm on YouTube. I'm filling in the blanks, which is amazing. If you're not utilizing this free information, like, dog, like,
you're messing up, right?
Exactly. So I go in. The biggest thing that makes me nervous on a film set is the lingo, right? Mm-hmm. Like, just the different terminologies that guys use. Because that was always a thing for me on music videos. Like, I didn't know what a C-stand was. Someone's like, give me a C-stand. I'm like, the fuck is a C-stand? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you mean I'm like coming up with my own name for it. I don't even know what they call it. And it, like, when someone called a tripod sticks one time, he's like, yo, give me the sticks. I'm like, what's that? I felt like an asshole, but I'm like, what's that? He's like, tripod. I'm like, all right, bet. Cool. I'm like, I got to get up on this lingo because I'm looking real weak not knowing this. So that was one of the biggest things. I get online, I get the lingo down. I'm figuring out just how you set up shots and do this other stuff, just to kind of just refresh my mind again, getting those repetitions. And then I did some test shots, stuff that I was going to do. And then I wanted to create a look for it, like how so there's a consistency through it. So I kind of came up with that and developed that before getting on set. And then, so we get on set, and what's dope about working with Tip specifically is Tip is like really hands-on. Like, this dude is not the guy that's just like sitting in the background, like,
watching.
You guys take care of it. I'll be over here in my Bentley. Like, he's not that guy at all. He's very like, yo, like, we're in a mix. Like, if you look at a lot of the BTS photos of us on set, it's like we're right. Tip's in there. They got him with the lens. He talking about lenses that you don't even know what the fuck he talking about. But like, he putting in that work. Like, hey, Philly, what's this lens? Explain it. Why are we shooting it on a 50? Why are we shooting it on a 85? Why are we shooting it on? He's like asking these questions, which was dope because it's like he humbled himself to learn. He didn't. The T.I. rapper was not on set. It was really dope. Really so rapper T.I. was back at home. He showed up, as like the newbie green dude on set, but with the confidence that, like, I'll learn. Mm-hmm. But let me ask you, he was asking.
That's why people like that are successful.
That's it. Tip literally humbled himself and realized he was the low guy on the totem pole. Even though he's paying for this, it's T.I., he left the rapper shit at home, got on set and learned, asked questions, asked why things are being shot like this. Why does this look like this? And then understanding certain things like time of day.
Right.
Like he learned that right away because we'd shoot something in the morning and then we'd try to pick it up in the afternoon and I'd be like, "Hey, we can't do this. It's gonna look it's not gonna cut right."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh no, it'll be fine." And then we'd show him the
dailies,
and immediately he'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're right. We got to reshoot that because that ain't it." So then the next day we'd do a pickup shot and then he immediately realized, too, this is gonna cost more money. We have to do it like this. But he was learning in real time. You saw Tip learning in real time on set, and me as well. I'm learning. I'm always learning. I'm always soaking game, and you know that. But that experience of being in the trenches with Tip, and we're both learning, was really dope. And willing to humble ourselves to understand, like, I'm the music video guy, and I'll crush a music video any time of the day, no matter what. You give me 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm gonna go crazy. In the film world, I gotta be the little buddy. Yeah. I gotta be little buddy. I'm little dog now, and that's a weird transition to be. Yeah. To go from being the guy when you walk in the room, Philly, yo, you got every video, you would shoot with everybody, to being the guy that basically I'm warming the coffee up now. I gotta learn. I gotta sit. I gotta sit tight. You gotta literally. You go from the top of the mountain, like, just imagine you get to the top of that mountain and you feel like, I'm on the top, and immediately you slip and fall and go right down back to the bottom.
Well, life's about growth, man. And I can relate to that because, you know, I was blessed to play professional baseball for 10 years, and that shit ended. And I went from being a pro athlete to picking up a camera and not knowing shit, you know? So I can definitely relate to that.
That's amazing, though. It's a very weird thing, dog. Right. It's an awkward space to be in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're talking in essentially the same industry, going from film to video, crazy, right? You're going from a professional athlete to two
different things, but you're in the same niche where people look at you probably and like, oh, he knows how to do this.
But that might be even worse, though.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm like the guy in the video world is probably not playing to my, and I worry about that. Like, I worry when we did departments, I'm like, bro, I'm the guy in this music video world. If this shit sucks, this department shit sucks.
And I guess that's kind of what I wanted to ask you. So before I go there, just where can we find the movie and the release kind of?
Yeah, situation? So I got the link in my bio. Tip's got the link in his bio. So what happened is, obviously there's a lot of things going on with the strike and other things like that. So logistically, didn't want to bring it out on a platform, just to not step on toes, because Tip's a SAG actor and everything like that. So he's distributing it directly.
Got it.
So you literally just go to the department's website, and I literally don't want to say I don't know if it's .com, whatever. It's horrible right now. My memory's shot with exactly
we'll put a link
what it is
in the description.
Yeah, exactly. We'll link it up just so nobody's going searching for the wrong thing. But it's direct. There's no direct distribution. It's coming directly from him, which is and
that's like old school, like the old I got the hookup Master P movies and stuff.
It's out
like
the trunk.
Like, just get it.
It's the virtual out the trunk. Yeah, which is really dope. And Tip's the kind of guy, again, he, and this is where I get a lot of that, same energy, from like, let's get it done no matter what. Mm-hmm. Tip's that guy, right? So Tip's like, okay, strike's going on. I don't want to put it on a platform. I don't want to disrespect nobody. I don't want to make it whatever.
We don't want to wait for a year or
but
whatever.
I don't want to wait.
Yeah.
I want to make it. I got to get this popping. I got to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why Tip shot this movie was that same reason. Mm-hmm. I want to do a movie the way I want to do it. I don't want nobody to tell me what to do. I want to do it with my money. I don't want to have nobody looking over my shoulder. So it only makes sense to also not play by the rules and put it out direct to consumer, because then you ain't got to worry about nothing that the different distribution channels are gonna try to restrict you or make you do this or do that. Nothing, just straight to consumer, which plays into the whole reason why Tip did the movie in the first place.
That's sick.
Cut out the little the buddy that's looking over your shoulder. Get rid of that guy. That's basically why he did it. And
straight from his brain.
And that's it. That's literally as much TI as you can possibly put into a movie. That movie embraces that, because that's literally his ideas, and we didn't have to regulate anything because it was coming from Tip. And Tip wanted it to be the way he wanted it to be. So if we needed something extra or shoot an extra day, he had the ability to make that happen. Yeah, so it's dope.
I want you to leave us with this. What's next for Philly, man? What's next for Philly Flyboy?
I got my own movie that I funded with Trae Tha Truth. It's called Soul, SOLE. So soul like the bottom of a shoe. So because the premise of the movie is Trae's a character, Eddie, who his dad went to jail and left him $2 million of dope money, and he opens a shoe store in the old building that was his father's like pool hall kind of thing. He opens a shoe store.
Okay.
and becomes successful in the hood, but there's a rumor going around that his dad left this $2 million for him. And everybody feels like it's their $2 million.
They need the money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The police, the other gangsters that worked with his dad that went to jail and now are out of jail. So like Eddie's trying to do the right thing and the whole neighborhood is trying to get this $2 million. Yeah. So name of it's Sold. Now, so after I did the thing with Tip, I just took a page out of Tip's book. I'm like, Tip said, forget everybody. We're not going to work with you. We're not going to work with this. We're going to do it ourselves. We're going to find a way to do it ourselves. So I connected with a guy that I've known for years, my boy Ricky Rich out of Houston, who's Trae's people. He runs a production studio, Studio 713. Like everybody's, Justin Bieber be over there, Travis Scott be over there. He does all kinds of crazy stuff, but he does production too. So me, him, and Trae linked, put our money together, and bought a script from a Houston scriptwriter out there and shot the movie in Houston, fully funded by ourselves.
That's so dope.
Yeah, and it's coming. It should be out. So this one's gonna be on Tubi, but Tubi doesn't give you a release date. You just kind of put it in the system and you just kind of wait in line.
Yeah.
So again, that's a different, because usually me and Trae, like when we give something to people, they make it happen quick. Yeah. Like we're the little buddies now, so it's weird. So we're just waiting. It's been in for a couple of weeks now, so it should be out soon. SOLE, Sold, the movie. It'll be on Tubi, but it's self-funded, and I'm partially writing the next movie that we're doing right now too. So, and I got another guy that I've worked with, Monty Jonesy. He had a script for a comedy series, kind of like a Martin Lawrence kind of thing, in Living Color thing. He's a real dope comedian, actor guy, and we're working on his project right now too. So getting into film and series and things like that is definitely the next move. But funding it myself, like I don't really want to work with anybody else.
That's what's up.
It's just not worth it. And at the end of the day, taking a page out of Tip's book is you put so much restriction and red tape on yourself, and it just stifles the how much you love and enjoy doing what you're doing, and then the overall creativity. When you can do it yourself, when you can truly do it on an independent level, you get, I feel like, the best quality. And I've experienced that on both sides. I've seen it when I don't have it, and I've seen it when I do have it. I'm willing to risk my own money and my own time and all that stuff to hypothetically, potentially put some projects together that are dope. And this movie Soul, I really, truly feel like, even though it's mine and you're like, oh, it was the best movie ever. Like, I've now watched it after we shot back in summertime, and like I didn't look at it. Yeah, for a couple months, just because I wanted a fresh eye and whatever, and I watched it, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty dope.
That's it.
So I feel like people are gonna rock with it. So Soul the movie, that's the new thing, and then obviously getting into movies, probably hopefully within the next 5 years, I'm 100% doing movies, and then handpicking if I want to do music videos for people, because I love music videos. Don't get me wrong, that's like I don't just do it because like I make money with it. I literally love music videos, dog.
It shows in your work, man.
Yeah, I love it, dog. Yeah. I love it. So even if I get to the point where I want to be with the movies, I'll always come back to the music videos, but it'll be more handpicked. It'll be more like if I like the record, I like the artist, things like that.
Man, thank you so much for coming on. You blessed our set today. We're just very excited to have this moment. This was dope, and thanks for putting some game out there for everybody.
Man, I appreciate you guys too, man. Super shouts out. The way that you guys are doing this is amazing, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Dude, thanks, man.
No doubt.
So no matter where you are watching or listening to this podcast, just give us a like, subscribe, download, whatever it is you got to do on that platform to help us continue to push this content out. But we just thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Peace.